So today we have a special guest with us. Grizz is from Tennessee, and I met him on Panzermeister 36's Discord channel, actually. And ever since, we've been in a friendly competition of styrene, brass, and way too many puns. Grizz is one of the best modelers that I've had the privilege of meeting. And so today he's on to share some of his work as well as his tips so that you guys can maybe take something home. So welcome, Grizz.
Maybe a few puns. Howdy, howdy.
I would expect nothing less.
Good.
But yeah, let's start things off with just the basic question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what got you started into modeling, that kind of thing.
Hi, my name is Zach. I'm in 5th grade. Oh, sorry. So I got started into modeling almost completely by accident, actually. I was looking for something in my parents' closet, and I noticed, like, up on a shelf that my dad had a Revell Corsair kit. So, real top of the line stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I pulled that down and went out to ask him, what is this? And he went, it's a model, and he opened it up, and it was like halfway built. And so that was like 9 years ago. And then after going to Hobby Lobby that afternoon to get a kit, I haven't stopped.
Yeah, the mecca of hobby shops as well.
Yes, definitely. Thankfully, I upgraded from then.
I'd hope so. Yeah, there's kind of a bar. I feel like with that store.
Yeah, there can't be.
Yeah. So you started with Corsair. What's your preferred scale and genre now? Or if you have one, because people jump around.
Actually, I didn't start with Corsair. I started with, I think, an F-14, which may be even worse than the Corsair as a kit. But I moved slowly into the much superior realm of armor. So my main scale and subject is 135th armor of pretty much any genre or era, mostly World War II. And then within that, it's not like more German, more US, whatever. It's kind of just a smattering.
But yeah, so what's your way of getting into a project? What's your inspiration usually? Where does that come from?
That is not a steady thing. It could be I'm trolling Facebook in my reference groups, and I go, "That's a really cool picture. I always say, try to replicate that picture." I never end up doing that. Like with the Sherman I'm working right now, it started out as I'm going to do this tank from this picture, and it's not even close now. I mean, it's kind of close, but it's not really. It could just be I see a kit and go, I need to build that. I see something somebody else is doing, go, I need to build that. I now have a long list of I need to build that, but I think everyone does, so I feel okay about that. Yeah. Exactly.
I have a way too long list. If I bought every line item on my list, I'm pretty sure the bank would be very angry at me.
Or very happy, I think. Well, lots of overcharge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Exactly.
A lot of
exactly.
overdraft fees.
Exactly. Best customer of the year right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So what are you working on right now?
Yes. Seriously though, I have way too many projects going right now. My supposed to be main focus is an Asuka M4A1.
It's a gorgeous kit.
It really is. So I immediately replaced the turret because I'm building an earlier version than the one that comes in the kit. It's the same turret, but this one from Tiger Model Designs is just way better. It's the early turret with the this style hatch here, and the one in the kit is the 45-degree opening one. I need the 90-degree, which is the early one like this has. Let me see. What else has it got? It's got photo etch set on it from Holler, I think. The hedgerow cutter from a different Ahsoka kit. It's the 75A1. And then some other random little Tiger Model Designs bits, which are very nice.
Yeah, I remember when you first introduced us to that kit on Discord. It was the kit box, and then it was just buried under a mountain of resin and photo etch upgrades.
I think, well, that's how it should be.
Oh yeah.
At least I keep telling myself that. I think there's in total 6 resin kits for that. Not all of them are specifically for that. A lot of them are like generic Sherman upgrades, which is nice because I got Sherman upgrades to last me like 3 more builds.
That works.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. What else you got going right now?
I have this going from 135th to 172nd is always a fun trip, which is also I think my first 72nd build ever.
Nice.
But this is a Maz 537, and it's just a Russian truck, and it's got this tank trailer with it as well.
That's
And
awesome.
it's the kit that comes with a T55. It's a really nice little kit too. I can definitely see why some people like 172nd. I don't know that it's for me because every part is tiny, and you don't get a break from tiny parts.
Yeah,
But it goes together really amazing, and it's very nicely detailed.
that's awesome. Is it? I know with some older 72nd kits that the parts can be oversized or round things can be oversized. Is it all?
No, this one, from the tiny bit that I know about this truck, which is what it looks like, it looks great. All the detail is really nice. I think this kit is from like 2018, so it's a relatively newer kit as well.
Okay,
But
nice.
it definitely it feels like a nice modern kit, which is what you want.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Mm.
Some people build the ancient kits. I'm not for that. Yeah, no, that's not for me.
No, I like to add
Um,
resin, not to just fix the whole kit, but to add to it.
uh, yeah, I agree with that. Um, that's cool. So when you're not working on that, what else? What else you got going? Because any true modeler has 10 plus.
Minimum. It's actually a legal requirement, I'm pretty sure. Let me
Pretty
see.
sure
I
that.
have a Sisters of Battle army for Warhammer 40K, uh, which is my first delve into like any kind of wargaming minis or really wargaming at all, which has been pretty interesting. I've got one of them complete so far, and this is uh, Morgan Vol. She's very gold, which was
Oh yeah.
very different because I normally don't play with many metallics at all. And then this is almost entirely metallics, and all gold too. So it was fun to spray the initial base coat unthinned because you can't thin the Citadel metallics very well at 60 psi to get it out of here, and use the entire bottle to paint this one model because I was literally blasting half of it just into the wall.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, but it got done, so that's what matters.
I remember that you put a bunch of candles on that one. What were those 3D printed or?
It's 3D printed, which I basically so the candle bodies are printed
Mhm.
right in here, and then I stuck them on some green stuff, which is just a 2-part putty, and I used that to build them into the shoulder pauldron, and then also add some like wax strips and stuff to make them look, used.
Nice. Yeah, I
And then
remember when we were talking about the theory of the wax strips and how they should look.
as you should, and then I
Yeah.
painted the candle flames backwards. I have them light at the top and dark at the bottom. I should fix that.
It's gonna bother you forever. You
Oh,
know
it
it
will.
will.
And it looks wrong too. Like you're like, why are the flames upside down? That's not how fire works.
Yeah. It's a artistic license, right?
There we go. Let's see, what else do I have? I just got myself a new 3D printer, the Anycubic Mono 4K. Unfortunately, I'm not sponsored. Anycubic, if you hear this, I would totally be sponsored.
Any
But it's
cubic, me first.
true. It's a great printer. It's double the resolution of the one I had before, so it's literally going. It's a step up anyway, and then put on the fact that my other printer didn't work.
What
That
did you
helps
come
too.
from?
Creality LD200H.
Okay.
It's a 2K printer, kind of older. It's not bad, good. It's just kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And I wore it out too, which is why it's messed up. But even more exciting than the printer, I got the wash and cure station, which is way more fun than the printer, just to watch it go zzz, zzz, and then magically cure your prints. It's fantastic.
That has been on my list for so long.
It's a good
Because I
investment.
have just the original Photon from
Yeah.
Anycubic, and I've got to upgrade that because it is worn out completely.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, I have no room for anything else right now, but I like to tell myself that I've got enough room to put another printer in. You
You don't need a bed, do you?
No.
Go, printer room.
I'll just duct tape myself to the ceiling
That
every
is
time I need to sleep.
that is a viable option.
Don't need floor space. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
And then I remember you talking to me about your scratch building projects, which sounded pretty involved. So
Yes, especially when this was the second project after I'd purchased a set of 3D, not 3D printed, photo etch ever. I'd used stuff that was in the kit, and that was my minimum. I bought a Voyager set. I bought 5 more sets for that model, and then went, you know what I should do? I should try and scratch build an entire cab of something. And so that birthed this, which is the seat and the back of the cab for Dragon's late SDKC7, which they missed. They missed the mark on that one.
I mean, how often do they hit it? But
touche. Yeah, it's missing a lot. It's not bad for the earlier models, but the late one it's not even close. So that's typical Dragon. Some things are great, some things are not so great, some things are Dragon.
Yeah. Was it one of the earlier kits that came with preformed brass and everything?
I wish. No, this one is 2016 or something like that.
Okay, so past the golden days.
Yeah, it is, and it's basically just a rebox of their earlier one with a different bed, which is where the problems come from.
Got it. Yeah, because I assume that since you had to rebuild the cab, that it wasn't accurate to the late model, or something like that.
No, the dashboard is wrong. The floor is completely wrong. The seats are wrong. The back is okay, but not very good. The windshield is wrong, but that's a clear part, so I don't know how to approach that at all.
That's terrifying.
The engine has the wrong starter, as in it has a starter, because the late model they took the electric starter off. It looks like, at least that's what I think it is. I'm not an expert on it. Let me see. It's got none of the wiring for it, obviously.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah, I think that's it. The bed is good. It's got a lot of pin marks on the bottom of it, but mud.
Yeah.
That is one place where mud is actually appropriate, so it works.
Right. Yeah. Cover what you can.
Exactly. So in 6 to 8 years, when I might get back to this, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Cool. Well, before we move on to the next thing, finally, for what you've worked on, I remember that there was the Saga of the Stupa.
Yes, the almost 8 months of the Saga of the Stupa. Oh, I should have brought that in here. So I built started with Tamiya's really nice kit. I can't bash the kit because it's a great kit and it's Tamiya. So if you just want to build something, perfect. Their late Aus 4 Sturmpanzer. Then I looked at the running gear, which is this is the part where you do have to knock the kit. They didn't retool any of the running gear from their original Panzer IV from the 90s.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the back of the bogies are just hollow, which is strange in the first place. So I took the running gear that I had from some random thing. I don't even know where I got it. From a Dragon Panzer IV.
Mm-hmm.
Then I grafted that on to the
Oh
Tamiya
no.
hull. Yeah. And then I added, let me see, Blitzkrieg, bump stops. Uh, I had a Zimmerit set. We'll get back to Zimmerit in a minute. Um, a Voyager set, an ET model set for the fenders, which are really, really nice, but they didn't fit quite right.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, the detail on the ET model stuff seems fantastic, but it's just a
They seem
little.
to be pretty decent
They
for
do.
photo edge.
It was just a little off in some places. I think they were like maybe a quarter millimeter too long, and that sort of made them
Okay,
shift kind of weirdly. Let me
got
see.
it.
I added some 3D printed parts. I don't remember what I. Oh, I 3D printed the return rollers and the return roller towers because where they were from a '90s Tamiya kit, they were just garbage.
Yeah,
They
and
were
this was with
too.
your old printer
Yes, before it was
because those
broken.
look okay. Because those look pretty
Yeah,
nice if I remember.
yeah. I mean, with this new printer, they could be even better, but they're perfectly fine for what they are, especially kind of hidden up. And by the time you weather it, they're good.
Yeah.
Um, let me see. I think that's about it. Oh, Furul model tracks, and I'm sure some other little bits and bobs, plus just some scratch building here and there for a couple things.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So the reason it took 8 months was mostly because I had started out with an original idea again of, oh, here's this cool picture. I should replicate this picture, and that had Zimmerit on it. But I didn't really like the Tamiya sticker decal Zimmerit because it's a decal. So the pattern is backwards, sort of, and it's not really. It's too clean. It's way too clean. And if you look at pictures of the Sturmpanzers, they're nasty. The Zimmerit is just. Ugh.
Okay.
So I wanted to try and add my own to some epoxy sculpt. And the Panzer IV, if you're going to do that, is not, especially the running gear, is not a good place to start to try and learn Zimmerit. Getting it thin enough to where it looks even close to being in scale is super hard, especially when you have no practice like I did. So eventually I gave up on that. And then I built like not quite the last productions, but it was anywhere between, oh shoot, if I remember correctly, like a September to November of 44 build time. Whenever they stopped doing Zimmerit, I can't remember. That might have been November. Anyway, it was somewhere in the fall of 44 that it would have been built as I have it modeled. So I actually didn't use some of these really nice resin cast steel road wheels because the earlier models of the Aus 4 had all steel road wheels
Yeah.
because it's a hefty boy.
Right.
So I had a friend cast them up for me really nice, and then I didn't use them, which I kind of felt bad about. But I'll use them on some.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
And now for what happened after the build, because I remember the build was gorgeous. You sent
yeah.
pictures out of that, and it
Well,
was
then I finished it in a month.
yeah.
Painting was easy. It also has some of my best camouflage on it I think I've ever done, uh, which is also some of like the first I've really done. I've kind of tried to avoid doing freehand camouflage with an airbrush
Yeah.
because I'm not very good. But I got a new airbrush, which is the Badger Sotar, which is a great airbrush. It's pretty cheap too. I think they go for like $100. I
That's
got
not
mine
bad at all.
used. Yeah, I got mine used, so it was even cheaper.
Nice.
Um, so that really helps with nice fine lines, and I think it really helped me build up my understanding of how to actually airbrush properly.
Right. Yeah.
And then I took it to my first model show, and I got a bronze.
Just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it works. I had some floating road wheels where I completely changed out the suspension, so that knocked me. But I'll take a bronze.
I mean, after changing the entire suspension, if it's only some road wheels, I feel like you're
You
yeah,
are, yeah, that is true.
yeah, yeah. That was a beautiful kit. Um, yeah. So now moving on, what are you planning on doing after these projects are eventually done?
A lot. Um, Two of the things that are probably most likely to actually happen. So I've got the Dragon STKZ 234, which I plan to do as a paper Panzer thing. I'm going to cut. Well, actually, I already have cut the front off. I'm going to replace it with like one solid angled plate as like a part of a simplification program or something. And then I'm going to either build it as an artillery observer kind of vehicle with lots of like periscopes and stuff up top, or a command vehicle, or like some kind of a recon thing. Maybe put like a 20 millimeter in a tiny little turret. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I could go with it. I'm gonna try and
cool.
I'm gonna try and do some like CAD work to build up whatever the superstructure might be. Especially if it's like a turret, that's the best way to do that instead of trying to scratch build it.
Yeah.
Because my scratch building skills aren't very good. Making the plate for the front is did prove before I stuck it back up in the stash again. Difficult enough. So a turret is out of my range entirely.
Yeah, it's just a turret. What's so you're wrong with that?
I should be able to whip that now in 2 seconds.
Yeah. I mean,
and then
3D printing has changed things so much for scratch building. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally cheating, which is a ridiculous thing that people say. Because yes, you just hit a button and magically your model pops out. It's not like there's any other work that goes into it, including
making the part.
Yeah, including like tens of hours minimum of like making a single part. But yes, it's cheating. It takes no work at all.
No.
Anyway, rant aside. My second project would be another Dragon kit, and it's their Panzer Wagen 1, because I have a thing for command tanks. I don't know why. I really like the idea, and they all look kind of weird and funky, and I kind of like that. And it's a tiny little kit, so I could build that in like a day. I'd want to do a little. Yeah, I'd want to do a little more of it than that, but I could also do it in Panzer Gray, which I've never done before. And I could make a beautiful shade of this, because this is the accurate Panzer Gray, in case you were wondering. It's a nice blue color.
What was that?
No,
just say that again one more time.
Don't worry, I'm not a blue Panzer Gray. That stuff better be like black. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that,
you're saying is small kit, easy build, 24-hour build challenge.
No. It is still Dragon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and the tracks will need to be replaced definitely, because it's 1/35th, but it's a Panzer 1, so the tracks are like a millimeter wide. They're tiny little things. So that would also probably be a good thing for 3D printing.
Yeah. Do they do DS tracks, or were they?
They're magic tracks, which are normally good, but not when they're like the size of like a pin.
Yeah. I mean, when you print them, they'll be the size of a pin anyways. So
that is true. So it's kind of a toss up between glue or try and stick the tiny pins into the holes that are like microscopic to get them to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you need files for that, I know a guy. So.
Oh, there you go.
So basically, just German stuff from here on. Do you have any plans for modern stuff, or?
Who knows? I'm sure I probably won't even build those for another year anyway. I'll get distracted by something else and then go, ooh, squirrel. Ooh, squirrel.
Yeah.
Is that a rabbit? Oh, chipmunk. Yeah. So lots of rodents, apparently. I don't know.
I mean, it's 2 Dragon kits. Are they newer or older 2000s kits?
I think the Panzer 1 is like 06, somewhere in there. And then the 234s are some of the best kits Dragon ever made. They're fantastic kits. They actually go together well. The instructions are good. They're really well detailed. They're really accurate. So I have no, except for the fact that I tend to destroy it, I should have no problems out of that.
Yeah.
The kit, let me say this, the kit will provide me no problems. I will.
He'll make your own problems. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. I do that plenty.
And if you don't, the airbrush will. So.
Oh, yes. Always. Actually, my airbrush is broken right now, so it is, in fact, causing me problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So you seem to like German command vehicles a lot,
Mhm.
and then you had the Sherman, and you're doing the tank carrier right now. But what's one subject or vehicle that you haven't seen, or is it being manufactured that you'd like to see manufactured, and also what scale, because that's important.
Well, it's probably going to be 135th with everything, unless it's like a boat, which it won't be.
Yeah.
Hmm. The Mainramer Panzer III. It's a funky looking thing. It's basically a Panzer III on stilts because
Oh,
they
is it a
extend it.
lifted one?
Yeah, it's a lifted Panzer III, and there
Yeah.
is a kit of it, but it's resin, and I think it's out of production, so it doesn't exist basically because it would probably
Yeah.
cost me like $500 to get. Actually, I know somebody who just got one recently, and they paid almost $500 for it.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd like one of those in plastic for not $500.
So 499.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Well, 499.99, obviously, plus
Yeah.
tax.
Sorry. And shipping.
Exactly. So six.
Yeah. Exactly.
Perfect.
I'll get talking to some guys to make me a mold right now. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I can think honestly, I can think of a couple companies that would be up their alley. I think DOSWork, they've done some kind of funky things.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm using hobby
TechOm,
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm using Hobby for sure. Although aren't they like a subsidiary of DOSWork? That whole thing is
I don't
confusing because like
remember.
DOSWork is TechOm and I'm using Hobby as a DOSWork who is TechOm, who is probably Ming somehow, who's probably still
Yeah.
Tamiya. Who knows? It's all one.
I don't know. It's I get
Big.
plastic. I
There
buy
you go.
plastic from them.
And it has a pretty box sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mostly the Tacom stuff, but yeah.
they do. They
If you
have
look,
really nice. They have really nice box art.
yeah. I mean, the A7V,
Mm.
that is Tacom. No, that's Meng.
Oh, Ming is good too,
But
but
yeah,
the
that was a
Panzer III up there is Tacom, and
that is Tacom. Yeah.
that is a nice box.
Yeah. But one of the best boxes I've seen is the A7V.
Oh, for
That
sure.
was matte finish top, and I mean the box art is really cool.
Mm.
So
And it's a cool looking break anyway. So
yeah, exactly. Got a set of engines for that. It's gonna be cool when I build it.
ooh, I can't not wait to see that one.
We'll see if I ever get around to it, because
I was gonna say, when I'm 45.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was top of my list, and then kind of went up further.
yeah. It always starts as the top, and then the next one comes around.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and I gotta wait anyways because Martin just started his on his channel, so
it's true. You got to see what he does and then copy it exactly.
exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, no views, and back to where we started. So
Precisely. And then you might get to do a nice court battle with Martin.
that's true. That's true.
There you go. There you go.
Although I'm pretty sure, like code, modeling techniques are open source, so we'll see
No,
how
they're
that
not.
goes.
No,
Oh,
no.
sorry,
It's mine. It's mine.
it's trademarked.
Only I can know how to pin wash.
Yeah. Then rant number 2 over.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, moving quickly on. Um, so, when you're building a kit, what's the technique or part of the kit that you're looking forward to most? Is it like building or some part of building?
It's generally it's all of construction. Um, Painting, I'm still not really comfortable with. I mean, I've always painted all my kits. I'm just
Yeah,
not very good at it. It's just not very good at it. I don't like it, and since I don't like it, I don't like it.
yeah,
Newsflash. Um, and then since I don't really enjoy doing it, I don't put a lot of effort into it to be able to grow, and then the cycle just continues.
yeah,
I'm trying to break out of that, and I think that the Sherman and the Sturmpanzer have really helped me to really move my finishes to a much better level to sort of match
yeah,
closer with my construction, which is decent.
Yeah. Oh, just I mean, kind of decent. Yeah.
Well,
It's only like glowing gold by the time you finish a kit. So
that is true. That is true. I'll show things. He's like, I like all the gold parts, and I'm like, okay, me too. That's why I put that bling.
you ever tempted to just like leave it unpainted because it's just
I was
blinged up?
I was really tempted with the Sturmpanzer because I had the 3D printed stuff. I had photo etch fenders. I had a metal barrel, a resin gun
Mantlet or
mantlet
shroud.
mantlet shroud. That's it.
Yeah.
Mantlet shroud. And I was like, ooh, that's pretty. I should still paint it though, and I'm glad I did in the end.
Yeah.
Like the exhaust on that thing, I think is one of the best things I've ever painted. Just the exhaust, but
That's
I'll take a win.
the exhaust can make or break a kit. I've found because
Really
like
can though.
if it doesn't look right, then the rest of it you get drawn to that and just rest the kit.
Yeah, there are just a few details that, like, if you don't get them right, the whole thing is thrown off, and that's
Yeah.
one of them. And then I think tracks are one of them too,
Tracks are big.
which is bad
For
because I
aircraft,
am bad at it.
same. And they're tedious, so you just get bored.
Mm.
Um, I think that for aircraft, that's like the landing gear and canopy, probably.
Oh, yeah, I've got a Spitfire that's halfway built too, and I just a few weeks ago I pulled it out because I was like, I'll do something with this for 2 seconds, and I glued the fuselage and the wings on. So the next thing basically is fill seams, paint it, and then put the canopies on. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that. There's a reason I don't paint
No.
airplanes, and it's all three things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
What make is that kit?
it's the Edward kit.
Oh, okay. Is it
Well,
Mark 9C or
no, it's a Mark II. It's one of the
okay?
really early ones. It's like the Mark One or Mark Two. It's the Edward kit, the white box one where it's just the sprues. Because
Oh,
like with Edward, they give you so many other pieces, and then you can still build stuff with them. So they sell some of
yeah,
these sprues too. And then I got like
yeah.
Tamiya decals, and Edward, their pre-colored photo etch sheet, and I think maybe one
Nice.
other one that has a couple exterior details. It's a
Okay.
really nice kit. It's a lovely kit, and it was sent to
Yeah.
me completely for free. And I feel kind of bad that it's been sitting up there for like 6 months. But at the same time, I really don't want to build it. So
Yeah. I
it'll get done.
I've been working on the 9C. Yeah. I mean, before last so during last fall semester, I started my Edward 9C Spitfire
I think I remember. Yeah.
9C. Yeah. It's I finished the camo on it and I got the colors completely wrong.
Ooh.
Um, so I'm recoloring them all with oil paints, which is because
Okay.
if I respray it, then it's going to be too thick of a coat,
Mm,
and I'm going to lose all of the detail.
that's true. Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm trying to get it back by just like
Like
topically
filters.
applied filters.
Yeah. 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 And you can't really strip a plane once you cut it together because then there's the cockpit, and you're not painting that without it
No,
with it
no,
in there. Mm-mm.
exactly. But it has taught me a lot about working with oils and color theory. So
I mean, that is definitely a good thing.
yeah, it works. Um, yeah, planes.
Mm, for real. There's a reason I build things with tracks and occasionally wheels
Yeah,
that don't fly.
yeah.
Important caveat there, that don't fly.
What is like the main staple product that you use on your bench a lot for
Ooh,
either
that'll work.
weathering or something like that?
I can talk about my ridiculously overpriced AK Black super glue.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh yeah,
did you? Yeah, I've got the VMS one. So
I want to try that, but good luck ever getting a VMS product in stock.
Michigan Toy is not too bad if you're careful.
That's where I've got all
Um,
of my stuff. I had some of their Flexi 5K,
yeah,
and I used it all. I really like that stuff too. But I see why people use the black stuff because it's so easy to see.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is that I thought I'd use it a bunch for the ship build that I'm doing,
Mhm.
um, but they don't have a gel version of it, and so I actually just use gel super glue instead because everything on that kit is just like this big. So
I forgot you were that. It's a destroyer, right?
yeah,
I forgot you were building that.
it is slowly but
I try
surely
to
coming
block
together.
ships. Yeah, I try to block ships out of my mind. I've got a friend, and he's building a 1/200th Titanic. It's 3 feet long,
That is a big
and he's
ship.
building oh no, it gets better. He's building the entire interior.
Excuse me.
He's yeah, he's kind of a madman.
That's insane.
He's insane.
The sometimes the repetition with model kits just kills me, and so if I had to do that for a ship, I would
Yeah.
have.
Oh, he's been working on it forever, and he's got like 8. He's got more projects going on than I do, which is
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah. I mean, I probably got 5 to 10 projects right now, but I mean, I know that Panzermeister, he's got like
He's probably got 500.
13 Stugs ready to be painted.
That man is crazy.
He knows his Stugs though.
He does, well, granted, I guess if we considered each squad of my sister's build, I've got like 20 things going on.
Well, I mean, if we're counting individual minis,
Oh yeah, even more if we got them. I've got like
yeah,
50.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've got close to the same amount.
Yes. All right. Anyway, back to the super glue.
Yeah, we're good at these rabbit trails.
Oh, I'm very good. My dad's a pastor, so I'm an expert.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so black super glue, it's great for being able to see how much you're putting on, where the part's going. It's a good marker too. Do you use it for filling seams? Because I've seen that YouTubers like Plasma will do that, where they'll use it
That's
to fill seams.
I think that's the best. That's his best thing. It's nice to be able to see, when you put a part and you get this giant glob of super glue, and you're like, oh, there's a giant glob of super glue. But it's
Yeah.
really good for filling seams because you know immediately when you've filled it perfectly.
Right.
And since it's not like a putty like Tamiya or something, um,
Yeah.
you instantly you can dry it and then you sand it, so it takes a lot less time, and it's better than
Yeah.
clear super glue. Because with clear super glue, you try to fill a seam, you've either got a big glob of it still there,
Uh-huh.
or you've completely flattened out your part,
Yeah.
and there is no in between.
No.
With this,
No.
it's like instant gratification of a filled seam.
Yeah. And I know that it doesn't shrink
Mm-mm.
because that's the case with like
Well,
really build.
it does a little bit, um, but that's really only if you use an accelerator, which I do because I'm lazy and I want to
Yep.
get things done quick. So if you
Same.
do that, it will shrink a little bit just because it's going so fast, and the chemical
Yeah.
reaction is like.
Right.
So you just got to fill a little bit extra. But what's really nice though is it's really easy to see if you've got any gaps in that seam still. They pop right
Yeah.
out because where it's black and then you have the dust on top of that, it pretty much shows up as like a white spot in your seam, and then you just go, oh, take a toothpick,
Right.
you're done.
Yeah. Accelerator is definitely one of the top things on my list when I'm building with photo etch, especially.
Mm.
Do you use debonder? Are you part of the debonder crowd?
Yeah, I do. Well, sometimes, unless I forget that I own it, which has happened several times, and then I'm sitting there
Oh,
scraping for half an hour and go, wait a minute, I had debonder right there. This could have been done in 5 minutes.
yeah.
But yeah, I tried the Bob Smith Industries stuff.
Oh, it kills plastic.
Oh, it does. I found that out quick. I'm like, you try to use this and your model is gone.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But then I finally was able to find some of the VMS stuff, and it works magically. I do find it takes a minute to sort of activate the glue,
Yeah.
but I'd rather wait a minute than melt my model So it's definitely
Yeah.
a better move. And the day I got it, I immediately spilled half the bottle. So now I've got, let me find it back here. I printed this nice little holder,
Yeah.
which still hasn't stopped me from also doing it, because I'll just take it out,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
thus defeating the purpose of this entirely. And I don't know why
Uh-huh.
I do. Yeah, I'll use it and I'll go, all right, yeah. Knock.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that I do.
Yeah. If I'm not spilling things, am I even modeling?
No,
No.
or sniffing things.
True. Usually in concert.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely agree that the Black CA is very useful.
Oh, totally. Even if it was a $16 investment. Thanks, AK. Sponsor me, please.
Well, the VMS stuff is no $3 or $4 cheaper. VMS, if you're listening.
Also sponsor me. Yeah, I am willing and ready to sell my soul to any model company that wants it. I am poor and I need stuff.
Yeah, the bank is already mad at me, so
Exactly. Care packages is nice.
yeah. But yeah, this has been awesome, and I know it's getting late for you, so I will let you go. But before you go, where can people find you?
I have a Facebook and I have an Instagram, and I have a Patreon, uh, which I sometimes remember I have. Uh, but it's Grizz Modeling, GRIZZ Modeling, and I think it's the same on both Instagram and Facebook. And I have a link. If you find my Instagram, there's a link to my Facebook, and there should be one vice versa. Though if you
Okay,
find me on
yeah,
one or
and
the
there'll
other,
be
yeah,
there'll be links in the description of this video too. So
there we go. Easy.
yeah, easy peasy, one click.
Oh yes, and then 5 more.
Yeah.
Get through those firewalls.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on. This has been awesome, and I'll definitely have to have you on again sometime.
There we go. I'll be a staple guest.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and share it with a modeling friend who you think would enjoy it on their Monday mornings while they're having coffee. So, um, again, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, Zoom. I wouldn't have known.
Just blew your ears out.
Oh yeah, good grief, that was loud and so bassy.
I know.
There's your intro right there.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just put it at the end of the video. All right.